Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm particularly excited for this video because after very many videos, we finally get to start on the chat function of this application. All the things that we've done up to this point are important for this app, but the chat functionality is the real meat of the project. So let's do a really quick change to our main activity and get right into it. Now, in the main activity, there's just one thing that I found that had a problem. So here in our on options item selected method, we have the switch statement for the overflow menu, and one of them is logout. Now, logout requires just one more, the case for logout requires just one more line of code, and it's this line. Within our on stop, the line that sets a user's online entry to be false has to be here as well. See, what's happening is you're switching from the main activity to another activity. So this line of code runs because this is in the stop and people know that you're no longer online. But when you sign out, you're still in the main activity, and then it's this code that runs, and there's never a chance for the online entry to become false. So we need to copy it and put it here as well. Okay, that was it. That was the only change that we're making, and now we can immediately get into our chat activity. So let's start by creating an empty activity, and we'll call it chat activity, and there it is. And as that is building, I'll go to the profile, and in the profile activity we have a button called message, and it has an on-click listener, but right now it's empty. When you click this message, we want to go to the chat activity. So let's create an intent here. Intent is equals to new intent, and I believe I have a context variable here. Yes, I do. And chat activity dot class. Okay. Next thing is we need to send the user ID of the user we want to chat with. So put extra user ID, and let's close that. The variable was called UID. Okay. Right, and then we can start the activity. So start activity intent. Okay. Back to the chat activity. The first thing we'll do here is we'll get the UID that we just sent. But first, let me create a context variable. So context, and then underneath that I can say string user ID, or actually, just to be absolutely clear, I'll call it recipient, because the ID belongs to the person who's going to receive a message. So string recipient ID, and then here I can initialize all that. Let's make this private to be consistent. So context is equals to this, and recipient ID is equals to get intent dot get string get string extra user ID. Okay, now I'll go to my activity chat and get rid of this. Let's put relative layout, and all I'll do for now is just include our app bar. So include layout main action bar, and give it an ID of chat bar. Should be fine. Yes, that's it. That one line is what we'll do for now. We'll do the rest later. Meanwhile, I think I should rebuild this. Okay, so we can initialize this. We can create the toolbar. So private toolbar. Once again, do not select the Android.widget one, select the support v7 widget one. Toolbar. and toolbar is equals to find view by id r.id dot chat bar. Yes. Okay, next thing, let's set that as the support action bar toolbar. No, toolbar, and then get support action bar dot set title. This is just for testing. For now, I'm going to put that recipient ID, and also get support action bar dot set display home as app enabled to be true. So this will give us the back button at the top, which will allow us to go to the previous activity, which means we have to go to the manifest file, and I've already done it. So what you do is what we've always done. You select, you put this entry, parent activity name, and I've put mine as users, not the profile, which would have been the previous activity, because you might also get to this activity from the user. So I feel this is better for UX purposes, but we'll test it later and decide. And of course, you can decide for yourselves which one you'd like to do. Okay, so that's that. With that, I think we can do our first test. So let's run the app. Okay, there it is running. Let's go to users. I'm logged in as William, so let's try John. And if I click message, it should take me to the activity we just created. And there we go. It has, and as you can see, the title has been set to John's user ID. Now let's see if the back button will take us to users. It did. Wonderful. All right then, so that's working well so far. Let's move on. So the next thing is, as I said, that look that you saw was just for testing purposes, but this activity will have its own unique look. And for that, the first thing we'll need to do is create a new layout resource file. This is going to be for the action bar. We're going to make it look a bit different than usual. So let's give that a name. Custom chat bar. And we'll change this to relative layout and say OK. All right. Now, what we need in this, what I'd like to have in this layout file is an image of the person we're talking to at the corner, their name, and whether they are online or not. So let's start with that image, and for that we'll use our favorite circle image view. Circle image view, there it is. So the width and the height, I'm going to set mine to 36 dp each. Okay, I'll give it an ID. And just to differentiate, I'm going to call it bar avatar. All right. So, okay, next I have to give it a source before we can see it. Source is Dreball NIF. Okay, there it is, looking good so far. Tiny though, but that's how we want it. Now let's give it some padding. Or rather, let's change the layout margin. So from the left, I need it 10 dp away. Impossible to see, but I can tell that it moved, which is fine. From the top, I guess 10 dp again is also fine. Yes. Okay. And that is all I will change for now. The next thing is for the username, so Textview. And actually for this I'd like to be able to see it better, so let's close. Let me make this smaller and this smaller, and I'll zoom in a bit. Okay, so username will go there. I'm going to set the margin from the left to be 5 dp, just so it's not hugging the picture. There we go. Then I'll set the text color. And I'll make this white. I'll make this white because I'm going to make the layout itself black, rather color primary, not black. So in fact, let's do that before we continue. Let's see if it's in fewer attributes. Or actually what I can do, I can just go to activity start, because I know that had that and it's here. Yes. So activity start, just copy Android background, go back to custom chat bar, text, and paste it there. And let me see how that looks. That looks fine. Okay, finally, I'd like to make this a little bigger. So text size should be 20. Let's try 20 and see how it looks. 20 dp, a little large. Let's try 15. Now a little small, but anyway, I'm going to keep it. We can change that later. It's not entirely important. And finally, it needs an ID, and the ID is username. Okay. Finally, another text view. Just line that up. Okay. And this one will be online. And I can just copy the rest. So color, I'll copy that from the top one, paste it there. And what else do I need to copy? Is that it? Yeah. No, text size. I need the text size as well. And we're going to make this significantly smaller. So let's try 10. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Right. And I suppose I could change this to username just so it looks a little better, and this to online. Yeah, that's just a small change. And that's all we need to do for this. We can leave it for now and go back to our chat activity. So now that we've created a custom action bar, we need to use it in our chat activity class. And to do that, we have to first create an action bar object. So where will I do this? How about just underneath, excuse me, just underneath the toolbar, I can say action bar. Action bar is equals to get support action bar. I'll actually put it underneath set support action bar. Okay. Then what we can do is, instead of typing get support action bar again and then these methods, we can simply get rid of this and now use that variable we've created. So action bar dot set display home as app. Action bar dot set display home as app enabled. And the next one is action bar dot set display show custom. Here it is, show custom enabled to be true. This will allow us to use our own, and then to actually get it in, we need a layout inflator. So layout inflator is equals to this. Actually, we'll use context dot get system service, and then context dot layout inflator service. Okay, this should give us an error. Yep, it will give us an error because these are two different objects. So we need to cast this. We need to say that it's a layout inflator. Okay. Next thing is to create a view. And yes, Alt Enter. Action bar view. And we'll simply say inflator dot inflate r dot layout dot custom chat bar, and that's it. Oh, we need to pass in another null for the root, and then action bar dot set custom view action bar view. Okay, I'm going to space this out. We don't need this last one anymore. This setting the title, that's no longer necessary. I can get rid of that. So let me space this out so it's a little easier to look at. So toolbar is equals to that, and then set support action bar toolbar. That can be one block. Action bar is equals to that, and then we do some things with the action bar. That can be another. Then the layout inflator goes there. The action bar view. Okay, these three can stay together. Yeah, just so it looks a little easier on the eye. All right, now let's go back to our XML for the activity chat, for the chat activity, and let's set this up a little. So here's how it's going to look. On top here we'll have what we just created, the picture, the name, the online. Within the body we'll have the messages that have been sent, and here at the bottom we'll have an area to type a message and a button to send. So that's actually what we'll create right now, and it will be within a linear layout. So we'll come to layouts, select linear layout horizontal, and drag this to the bottom left corner. And then we need to space it. So first let's throw something inside. Let's see. First we need an edit text. So let's take a plain text from here, and then drag it into the linear layout. Inside the component tree, you want to drag it and hover over the linear layout and then drop it. So now you can see we have an edit text, but it's coming all the way to the top. So what we need to do is to click it, or rather actually what we need to do is to select the linear layout and to put the height as wrap content, and now it shrinks all the way to the bottom. Next thing we need is an image button. So actually just any button will do, but I'm choosing to use an image button. So images, image button, and we simply drag this the same way. Actually, now that there's something inside the linear layout, I can bring it in here, take it to the right side and let go. So it will ask me to choose the image, and I'll just choose this send image that Android Studio has by default, and let's say okay. Alright, so it's given me the star. I believe that's because it's source compat that's been selected. So let me come here, and yes, source compat. So instead what I wanted was, first let me try this. Source is equals to, I see menu, no. Menu send. this one. Okay, let's see if that gives us what we want. Not yet. So let me just copy it then. Let me copy it and put it here. I actually don't know why it's refusing to just give me the send. But let's see if this works. Okay, good. Now it's giving me that. Wonderful. Okay, I can get rid of that. And then let's make it a bit smaller. So in fact, what we'll do for this, I'll show you something new. Usually we work with layout width and layout height when we're choosing the sizes of our widgets. But another thing that we can work with is layout weight. So where is weight? Layout weight. I think I'll just type it in. Here it is. You can see it had already been given. So Android layout weight. And in this case it's 1, and in this case for the image button it's also 1. But instead I'm going to put this as 6 and leave this as 1. And let's see what happens. On the design you can see the button shrinks. So in a nutshell, what happens is when you select a weight and you put this one as say 2 and this one as 1, it will divide the space into 3. 2 plus 1 is 3, and it will give the one you've given two units, and the other one 1 unit. So in this case we've put 6 and 1. So this edit text will be 6 times larger than the image button, which gives us a good size. All right, finally, background color primary. Let's see how that looks. And yeah, that is fine. Okay, now let's select the relative layout and change its color. And for that, once again, I'll just copy. So I'll go here and take this and paste it here. But of course I don't want it to be green. I want it to be a shade of gray. So I had copied a hex code and it should still be on the clipboard. Yep, there we go. That's the color we'll use. Let's take a look. Okay, it's taken over the entire screen. Let's see what the problem there might be. So what we need to do is come here and we'll copy this once more. Copy it, and this time we'll give it to the linear layout. And we'll change this to be white, which is 6 Fs. F, 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 F. Let's see. Yes, excellent. Okay, so that's fine. What else? We can make the button taller, I suppose. Layout height, match parent, yes. Yeah, that looks better. This one as well. Layout height, match parent, although it was already like that, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, next we can get rid of this text, default text, and instead give it a hint. So the hint will be type your message. Okay, and finally, very important, is to give it proper IDs. So this one will of course be message, and this will be send. Yeah, and that is it. That's our chat activity all set up. We can quickly take a look at it, but I'd like to stop this first part there because it's running rather long. Okay, here it is running. So once again, let's click on John. And there it is. Okay, so our custom app bar has shown up, which is good, but this square is also showing up, which I don't know where it came from. But you know what, the whole thing is looking good generally. I can see our linear layout is there, our button is there, I'm sure it's working. I'll figure out where this square came from and get rid of it, but we can save all that for the next one. So let's stop there and continue right away in the next video.